Into the ice, starting for the fourth consecutive night for the Blackhawks, is Bob Sauvé, a veteran who was victimized by at least 2 soft goals in that first period last night of the 3 the Wings scored. But he played very strong after that and then was victimized by kind of a fluke goal off the body of Burr in the overtime. We're underway. Red Wings trying to win their first playoff series. We have an offside pass here. Their first playoff series since
to the Blackhawk team. A rugged left winger.
This is Frazier along the boards trying to create something. Moves it to Troy Murray. Out to the point, Keith Brown slaps it back behind Steffen. The Wings have been able to get the lead in each of the 3 games of this series. 2-0 in games 1 and 2 and 3-0 last night. And that is a key with their tight checking defensive style of 3-on-2 rush. Burr with the fake. Moving in now, he snaps the shot and he hit the outside of the net on the short side. Gary Nyland had an assist last night. Sends it across, intercepted by Bridgman. Now Burr sends it across for Gallant. Gallant dropping it for Bridgman. Nyland intercepts. Sends it ahead.
Here's
now
a goal right now, Davey. Down at the other end, right out of the gate. Gallant and Troy Murray. Well, a minute into this hockey game, and the tone is being set. Troy Murray not usually getting into this kind of stuff. Gallant a little more used to it, and he's getting the right hands in right about now. Boy, they're letting him go. Murray trying to hang on there. Finally, they Corsi and D'Amico jump in very quickly. 50 or 49 seconds into this hockey game.
I didn't see what started that, Mick, but so far in this series, we've seen that the Chicago tough guys have not had much success against the Red Wing tough guys, and the Wings as a whole have dominated this series.
Game. He does a lot of heavy hitting in the forechecking department as a winger. And they certainly have missed him the first 2 hockey games. 5-minute majors to Murray and Gallant.
So both teams lose very effective players at both ends of the ice for at least 5 minutes. Well, you look at the fact that guys like Larmer, Presley, Doug Wilson do not have a point in this series. This is Joe Kocur now for Detroit. Lost the puck and Wilson has it. Sends it ahead for Larmer. Steve Larmer. Hip check there by Norwood. O'Connell takes the puck away. Sends it back to Norwood. Lee Norwood flipping it in wide of Sauvé. Doug Wilson for the Hawks plays it up the boards. Picked off by Norwood. Norwood now trying to roll it in front. It deflected wide as a Red Wing player, Ashton, was dumped in front. And back comes Denny Savard.
He's got Kocur back playing defense.
Savard now along the inboards, could not center it. Vince Alette checked hard there by Norwood. And now the puck taken by Kocur. He'll start it back for Detroit. Joe Kocur, long wrist shot. Sauvé stops that one, then plays it back into the corner. Doug Wilson has it there. Wilson for the Hawks now. Gets the center ice line, flips it in wide of Steffen. Taken there by Beach. Beach checked by Presley. Now it's knocked away, and Delorme tried to clear the zone, held in by Presley. Wayne Presley made a shift with the puck and then lost it. It's cleared up the boards, and the linesman Forsey indicating icing is the call as Keith Brown back there first to touch it.
Leifert not in good standing with the fans of the Chicago Blackhawks. It's been a very difficult year. Chicago barely making the playoffs, and that in the last night of the season.
That was a week ago tonight, a must win, or at least they needed a tie. Rick Zombo, his first playoff appearance. A native of nearby Des Plaines, Illinois, had many of his family members in attendance tonight. He was very anxious to get into the lineup. Dave Barr rolls it up into the Blackhawks zone. Nyland has it there for the Hawks. Gary Nyland now starting the attack. Cuts behind Stapleton into the Red Wing zone. Going wide, dumps it into the slot. A shot went wide of Steffen.
Boy, did you see that pile up in front? There had to be 7 guys in front of Steffen.
Here's a Stapleton shot. Steffen
Look at
saw
Zombo.
that.
Here goes Zombo and Secord. Secord got the left into Zombo right off the bat. Wow, they were slapping each other with the lumber in front of Steffen. And Secord fired the first punch and ended up on top.
Well, we'll have to wait and see whether Frazier will use the instigator rule there, or whether he feels that the chopping that Zombo and Secord were doing was the thing that precipitated that altercation. Both players head to the penalty box areas. This is what you were talking about, Mick.
Yeah.
One thing the Blackhawks are going to do tonight is drive for the
Look at all
net.
these guys. How many guys? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, all in front of Stefan, right there. And here's how this thing all started with number 4 Zombo and 20 Secord. Watch the collision. The sticks start to go, and then bang. Secord drops to left. He's a left-handed fighter as well, which throws a lot of guys off. Most people throw from the right side. Sometimes when you get a lefty, it kind of throws you off.
Near sellout here in Chicago. They had about 1,000 seats or a little less than that left at game time last night. Last night's overtime hero Sean Burr stepping in for Detroit against Lutzig. Burr controlled the draw. Now Lutzig and Sneps were fencing a bit in front of the net. O'Connell controls. O'Connell now looking for the open man, moves it to Sneps. Sneps now up the boards for Probert. Bob Probert drops it back for Burr. Burr drives one into the glove of Sauvé. He drops it there for Doug Wilson. Wilson now starting it out. Lead pass Watson on the right wing for Preston. He's checked there by Sneps. Loose puck, Bridgman got it to Burr, who steps down the puck. O'Callahan shot went wide of Steffen off a deflection. Now Lutzig tried to line up Sneps and he missed them, and the Wings break out 3-on-2.
Completely missed him.
Up the right wing. Drops it back for Burr. Here's the shot and the save by Sauvé. Loose puck out to the line. O'Connell holds it in. He'll take the shot.
Oh, good
save
save
by Sauvé. He just did flash out that skate.
Screened all the way. Another one.
O'Connell again, and a save with the right skate this time, and the Hawks clear. Across for Watson. Watson, the shot.
Oof.
He just missed it wide. Here's Murray with a chance, and Steffen got
Boy,
back
she's
to make
opened up.
that save.
Boy, wide open end-to-end right there. Both goaltenders showing some good action.
Lead pass for Denny Savard. He likes it when it gets wide open. Tried to set up Larmer.
Probert KO'd Savard after he made the pass. He had his head down.
Out to the point. Bob Murray with a shot tipped wide by Norwood very alertly. This is Joe Kocur. He stepped underneath Savard and had some words for him.
Watch this, yeah. He got the stick up on Kocur.
Now Steffen back behind Lynette.
He'll think twice before he does that again. There's Savard's going to get a penalty now. That's foolishness on his part.
Elbowing penalty will go against Denny Savard.
Guy with his talent out there scores 90 points a year and 40 goals, and he's trying to run around and high stick people. That's absolutely foolish.
So the Red Wings will get the first power play opportunity of the night, and it comes at 4:29 of the first period. And Mick, really, in a quiet kind of way, special teams have played a role in this series. The Hawks, for example, have had 10 power plays, have not scored a goal. The Wings 0 for 3 last night, but overall 3 for 11 in the series.
2 minutes for high sticking.
That action back at the other end. O'Connell.
Blackhawk penalty.
That was the second opportunity Detroit had. Sauvé using both pads, first the left and the right. And then come the Blackhawks. Watson doesn't miss by much. Look at that. Just outside that goal post. But Savard running around with that stick up. He's lucky Kocur didn't go after him. He'll think twice before he gets it up on Joey again. And now look at it. This is following the Kocur high stick, and there's the stick right up around the head of Norwood. So it's hard to figure out why Savard is running around trying to do that kind of stuff. Puts his team in a hole. Takes the best player on the ice off the ice.
Yzerman, Ashton, and Klima up front with O'Connell and Beach on the points for this first Red Wing power play. Don't forget, we'll have our new stats, the telling totals in our first intermission. One of those new stats, quality power play time. The amount of time that a team with a man advantage sets up inside the opposing team's blue line. And the Wings won't have much quality time here. Olczyk, shorthanded bid now with Keith Brown. The pass is through.
Good save there.
Save.
And a penalty against Detroit.
A slashing call there. Wow, a big save by Steffen on the shorthanded bid by Keith Brown. Not sure who's going to get the penalty here.
O'Connell. Let's have a look at it, and maybe we'll take a look and see. Olczyk to 4, Brown. Mike O'Connell is the guy that's back there trying to catch Keith Brown. And it is O'Connell that'll go.
Number 2, Michael O'Connell. 2 minutes for.
And Zombo are in the lineup for Sealing and Lewis. Chicago, Donnelly, LeVar, and Sutter not dressed this evening.
So 4 skaters aside. Face off top of the circle to the right of Steffen. Oates Delorme, Norwood, and Klima, the 4 skaters for Detroit. Larmer, Stapleton, Brown, and Nyland for the Hawks. Delorme now at center ice. Carries into the zone, drops it for Klima. Has a man open in front, and
couldn't handle it.
Stopped by Sauvé.
Penalty coming up now. Who is it going to be?
I believe
Gary
it's
Nyland. He crunched Delorme, who did not touch the puck. I don't know if it'll be boarding or interference. But Delorme started the play out, dropped it back to Klima, and went for the net, and he got crunched behind the net by Nyland.
I believe it is
Blackhawks penalty number 22.
Yzerman all alone
Nyland,
couldn't quite handle the puck from Klima.
For boarding.
Boarding is the call against Nyland. He really nailed Delorme. So 4-on-3, which you rarely ever see anymore. Detroit's favor. And if nothing else develops in the penalty department, it'll be a 4-on-3 for a minute 10. When Savard's penalty will expire.
Well, it's hard to say that nothing else in the penalty. Okay. So it is Yzerman, Klima, Veach, and Norwood. Olchuk, Doug Wilson, and Bob Murray defending for the Hawks. Draw control by Yzerman. Veach moves it to Norwood.
You don't want a long-distance shot here now. Take their time and set it up.
Norwood moving in, takes the shot, save, rebound. Yzerman couldn't get control. Now he hits the side of the net, rolls through the crease, and the Hawks clear. So close there.
Yzerman got a pretty good chop on the right arm, shaking his hand as he comes back. That's twice he was unable to handle a puck cleanly, or it would have been in the net.
Peter Klima now trying to use his speed, gets into the zone, fires it behind the net. Yzerman has it there, out to the point for Norwood. 35 seconds left in the 4-on-3. Yzerman one-times it, saves Sauvé, he'll hang on to it.
Yzerman and Norwood now trying to get their signals together. It's not a good percentage shot what they tried to pull off right there.
Troy Murray and Gerard Gallant have served their 5-minute penalties.
It's the first opportunity. Norwood blasting one. See if Yzerman handles that in the backhand. He flips it in over Sauvé. As it was, he hit the outside of the post. But that last opportunity where Norwood fed it over to Yzerman inside the face-off circle was a bad angle, bad percentage chance with a 4-on-3 situation.
So they'll line it up again for the face-off to the right of Sauvé. Yzerman and Olchuk. Now they drive it up the boards. Veach, though, able to knock it down and hold it onside. Across for Norwood. Moves in, sets up Gallant across to Yzerman.
No. You believe he babied it, and Sauvé got the goal stick on it in the open net.
Norwood winds up for the shot. And it was stopped in front. Veach has it. 12 seconds left in the 4-on-3. Across for Norwood. Quickly to Yzerman. Hit the post.
Oh, man. Everything but in.
Here's Norwood to Veach. Veach, and his shot never got through. Savard is out of the box, and it's slapped to the line, held in by Norwood. Norwood, his shot never got through. Yzerman now, out to the line for Norwood, across for Veach. Darren Veach can't handle a puck. Boy, he's elbowed there by Troy Murray. Now Doug Wilson takes the puck away.
Chicago being very, very physical. Very physical.
O'Connell will be out in 10 seconds to give the Wings another power play opportunity. Everything but in the net.
Couple of goal posts.
Wings move the puck very well. O'Connell is out. He'll go to the bench, replaced by Probert. The Wings have their new power play unit out there. Here's Bridgman moving in. Had a pair of goals last night. Rolls it in front. And it's knocked away by Larmer. Sweeps it up the boards. Veach sends it across the open man. Norwood takes the shot. Tipped over the net and over the glass, out of play.
Bridgman, I believe, got a piece of that one, standing about 8 feet in front of the goal line. Some wide open action here.
3-0. Here's Norwood. Will that chance?
Norwood and Veach are a good pair back at the point. They both shoot the puck very well.
Teams are back at full strength. The puck ends up deep in the Chicago zone. Keith Brown for the Hawks sends it up the boards. Olchuk now to Troy Murray. Bird took the puck away. Snep sends it across for Delorme. Ahead now for Koser. Tipped it. Burr could not control. But Ashton does. Ashton across the line. Going wide on Nyland. Rolls it to the crease. Then Nyland took Ashton into the end boards. Now Koser taking Troy Murray down. No call made. Ashton trying to get it free. It comes up the boards. Kurt Frazier has it for the Hawks. Frazier driving it in wide of Steffen. Harold Snep.
Look at this, look at this.
Brown had him lined up.
Sure did, but here's a 3-on-2 right here.
Kosar trying to catch up to it. Nyland knocked it offside. And the whistle is blown at the way. Montreal looking for a sweep. Canadians historically have dominated the Bruins. Here's Yzerman trying to get around Manson, who hooked him off the puck. Now behind the net, Bridgman. Bridgman gets it back to Yzerman. Sweeps it out to Norwood. Norwood, the shot! And it was knocked down in front. Yzerman again circling the net. Yzerman out in the circle, trying to get away from Watson. Watson took him down. Larmer with the puck sends it back up the board. Yzerman again deflected it, but Watson sends it ahead for Savard with Larmer across the line. Savard the shot, and a shoulder save by Steffen, and the puck ends up in the seats out of play.
Why? Steffen hasn't had much action the last 4 or 5 minutes. He got that one right off the right elbow, and it went right over to the left and out of play.
Denny Savard with his goal last night, his first playoff, been a great playoff performer. Draw comes back, O'Callahan's shot, knocked down by Sneps. Harold hit hard there by Stapleton. Now the Hawks regain control. Presley tried to dump it in front. Sneps blocked that. Beach now plays it up the boards. Dave Barr has it. Barr now into the zone with Klima, holds up, now sends it for Oates in the corner. Presley had him well covered. Wilson to Preston. Preston just trying to dump it out, gets it to Stapleton center ice. Sneps had him lined up, rolls it up into the Chicago zone. Fox Stapleton now with control, sends it to Presley, knocked away by Darren Beach. Beach flipping it out center ice, bouncing puck. Klima tried to knock it down. Now in front of the Blackhawk bench. Presley rolled it across. Beach has it for Detroit. Beach, the long shot, saves Sauve, and the big rebound out of the stick of O'Callahan. He clears the zone. Klima sends it back in behind Sauve. Approaching the halfway mark of the first period. Scoreless hockey game, Game 4. The Wings leading 3-0. Cross ice now. This is Norwood. Deep in his own zone. Plays it up the left wing side. Held in at the point, but deflected off a Chicago player. And Bob Probert starts it back for Detroit across the line, using that long reach, trying to get in. Nyland knocks it away. Look at the hit by Lamb. Probert comes up with the puck, drops it back now for Kumpel. Kumpel with a shot from a bad angle, but Sauve forced to make the save, and he hangs on. We'll take a break. 9:43 to go in the first. There's no. Back live at Chicago Stadium. Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond, and of course our producer Mike Smith here on Pro-Am Sports. Just past the halfway mark of this first period. Glad you've joined us here on your Sunday night. Wings and the Hawks are scoreless, but the Wings in the series in command, leading 3-0. Now here's Olchuk for the Hawks, trying to dump it out. Frazier now in the corner. Frazier wheeling around, has the open man at the point. Keith Brown with a rising shot off the glove of Steffen. Now Frazier circling the net, trying to tuck it in, and Steffen got the left skate over there. Steffen does not have his stick. It's lying in the crease to his right. Shot from the point. Now Steffen with the deflection, able to pick his stick up, and he steers it out. Here comes
Frazier and Probert.
Kurt Frazier and Bob Probert.
Probert hasn't got the gloves off yet. Frazier might be in trouble if he does. Frazier's got those 2 broken fingers.
Yeah, he's trying to hold on with that left hand.
He did try to slap Probert with the left. Really got him tied up. There goes Probert with that right hand loose. That's about the same place down in the area of the ice that Probert KO'd Gary Nyland earlier in the year here. Probert's trying to get that right. There it is. He gets that big right loose. That's where he does the damage. I tell you, Frazier is quite a competitor. Broken fingers and all. He's out there. And holding that right hand or left hand now as he heads to the penalty box. Look at him. See?
You see the bandages on the ends of the last 2 fingers.
That's gotta hurt.
Understand when that happened, when he was, I believe he caught a puck on the inside of the glove, and he felt the pain. He went back to the bench and took the glove off, and actually the bone in his small finger was protruding out of the skin. So
that's nice. It's Kosar now against Secord. There's a pair to watch.
They went at it last night. Ashton ahead now for Burr. Burr slapping it into the Chicago zone. Bob Murray across for Manson. Now across the pass, Savard getting by Sean Burr. Savard, long shot, blocked by Norwood. Savard back to the late man. Manson pulls the trigger. It was blocked by DeLorme. And Sean Burr starts it back.
Detroit, first time they've collapsed that deep in. Nobody in the slot at all.
Secord now, bumped by Koser. They got the sticks up a bit. Now Manson for the Hawks. Backhands it. In behind Steffen. O'Connell plays it up the boards. Koser could not catch up to it. This will be icing as Manson goes back to touch it. 8:06. We are back live at Chicago Stadium. Game 4 of this best-of-7 Norris Division semifinal. Scoreless hockey game. The Wings with 12 shots on goal to 7 for the Blackhawks. The Wings have had 2 power play opportunities. The Hawks 1. Actually, the Hawks did not get a power play opportunity. Correct myself, the overlapping penalties prevented them from actually getting a man advantage. Face off to the left of Steffen. They jam it up in the circle. Stapleton taking Yzerman out. Now O'Callahan at the point. Hits Snepps, who doesn't see the puck. Stapleton has it. Stapleton in the corner. Rolls it to Lutzig. Lutzig trying to come out in front. Could not stuff it in on the short side, and O'Connell took Lutzig down. Here comes Yzerman across the line. Drop pass for O'Connell. Back he goes for Gallant. Here comes Bridgman. Saved by Sauve. Snepps now.
I think that may have hit Wilson twice again.
Wilson now with a long-range shot. The rebound out of the stick of Peter Klima. Sneaks it ahead. Bridgman now clears the zone for Yzerman. Tips it there for O'Connell. Long shot deflected wide of Sauve.
Detroit, what's going on?
Penalty here, I think.
Detroit?
O'Callahan. I believe he rattled Klima. Yep, O'Callahan is the one going off. He rattled Klima away from the play.
Knocked the hat off him, I know that.
O'Callahan does not like the call, but Kerry Fraser had his eye right on it. So the Red Wings with a power play opportunity with 7:14 to go in a scoreless first period.
Working together, building.
What happened here to get the penalty against O'Callahan? A pretty good cross-check by O'Callahan, and then he got it right up around the neck area of Peter Klima. There's Klima at the other end, just dumping it by Preston. Bridgman, the deflection. Yzerman, O'Connell. 4-man play right there. So the Wings once again with the extra man.
Face-off controlled by the Hawks. Keith Brown sweeping it up the boards. Preston, boy, tackled Norwood. But the Wings hold it in. Klima, the save by Sauve. Reached out with that blocker. Good setup there. The Wings with the man advantage here in the first period have set up some good opportunities. They just haven't been able to get it past Bob Sauve. And also the Wings have just misfired on some open net opportunities. Ahead now for Barr across the line. Drops it back. Klima one times it deflected high off the glass. Oates tried to stuff it in front. Preston plays it up the boards. Olchuk is there. Boy, he tried to run Norwood instead of clearing the puck. Norwood held it in. Now Oates along the end board. Held up by Preston. Klima tries to get it loose. And now we get the whistle. And a face-off will be upcoming to the left of Sauve as the linesman separating the players along the boards.
Very physical first period.
Chicago, the Maple Leafs swept the Hawks. Face-off controlled. Yzerman to Ashton. Out to Veach. Quick wrist shot.
Oh, it's in. Do you believe that? And is it going to be good? Fraser's there. They're arguing that it's a high deflection, but I do not believe. Fraser's pointing out, no, it was below the shoulder level.
Ashton and Gallant were in front.
That thing rattled. You hear that rattle all the way up here in the booth? Fraser says, no way, no way. It may have hit a couple of sticks in front, a wrist shot by Veach. And it may have been Ashton that got the deflection. Watch it clean off the face-off. Yzerman wins it. Ashton back to Veach. And watch 14 Ashton. Goes to the slot. There's a deflection right there. And it hit the Chicago player, Bob Murray's stick. Also. And off the goal post and in the net. Another look at it. Can't see the deflections, but there it is. Actually coming out behind Sauve. But it is 1-0. The goal will stand.
13:37 of the first period, the time of the power play goals. So the Red Wings able to capitalize after Yzerman won the draw. We'll have to wait and see who they officially award the goal to. But it appeared to hit Ashton's stick before it hit the Chicago player's stick. Center ice now, Mel Bridgman. Into the Hawk zone. Slides it in towards Sauvé. O'Callaghan now under pressure. The Wings start to swarm.
Bridgman's taking a run. 2 runs in a row at O'Callaghan now for cranking up Klima a moment ago.
Lead pass now for Stapleton. Had it knocked away, but Doug Wilson has it. Now Presley trailing the play. He lost the puck. And Burr now drops it back for O'Connell. O'Connell carries into the zone, fakes the shot. There's a little spinorama move there. Oh, another cross check by O'Callaghan. He got away with that one. Burr rolls it to the side of the net. Koser is there. Joe Koser in front. Wilson intercepts. And the Hawks able to clear.
That's the kind of play right there that the fans are upset of from Chicago. Just those plays where they're not thinking to dump it away and give it to the other team. They're not sharp.
Secord now. Broken up by Barr. And the puck back the other way. Savard with a quick shot. Stefan the save. John Burr now up the left wing side for Gallant. Gallant a little shift with the puck. Tried to set up Delorme. It was intercepted. Back comes Denny Savard. Savard a lead pass for Presley into the corner. Barr rattles him with a check. Now they jam up along the boards behind Stefan.
Look at Delorme. He's going to get a penalty. Oh boy, he just grabbed a hold of Watson with that open hand, no glove on it, and just ripped him down to the ice with one arm. Boy.
My pick just might be you.
15:09, the time of the penalty on Gilbert Delorme. 2 minutes for holding. And the Hawks with their first power play opportunity of the hockey game. Wings leading 1-0 on a power play goal by Brent Ashton, his first of the series from Beach and Yzerman. Hawks 0 for 10 on the power play coming into this game tonight. That still is a surprising statistic to me, even though they had the worst power play in the league, 17% over the course of the season. When you look at the players like this man with the puck that the Hawks can put out on the ice, it's hard to figure out why they can't score with a man advantage. Yzerman flipping it out of the zone. Bounces down. And Brown there for the Hawks, able to get it to Nyland. Nyland now across center ice, wristing it in wide of Stefan. Stefan way out of the net. Look out if that hits somebody, which it does. Watson now. Deep in the zone for Larmer, back for Savard. Hawks spreading it out now with the man advantage. Denny Savard moves it in deep for Watson. Back for Savard. Savard moves it into Watson. He mishandled the puck, and Stefan scoops it up, has it in the glove, and hangs on. And again, a little bit of extracurricular activity following the whistle. Lead at Boston Garden in Game 4 of that series. Quebec leading Hartford 3-1, looking to even that series up. Doug Wilson now out at the point. Hawks with a man advantage for another minute. Quick shot, got through but went wide of Stefan. And Sean Burr just chops it out center ice. That was hit by Wilson with a high stick. And when you do that on the power play, that means the whistle blows and the faceoff goes all the way in the Winnipeg Arena. Faceoff controlled by Burr. Ashton, who has the only goal of this game, dumps it along the end board. 45 seconds left in the Delorme penalty. Now Beach deflects it to the corner, clears it up the glass. Doug Wilson, checked by Burr, held it in. Now Wilson lost it to Burr, could not clear the zone. Troy Murray holding it in. Off for Wilson, he loses it. Darren Beach sends it ahead. Boy, Brent Ashton almost controlled that pass. And now here's a steal by Yzerman. Yzerman with the puck will just slide it out center ice. 15 seconds left in the Delorme penalty. Now we have a whistle. A two-line pass there with 3:03 remaining series. Period. And it was against the Blackhawks in the semifinals that year. Last time the Wings won any kind of playoff series was in '78. Since that '66 playoff year, this is only the 5th time the Wings have been in the playoffs. Here's Vincelette now for the Hawks. 5 seconds left in the Delorme penalty. O'Connell gets control, drives it up the boards. Nyland holds it in. Gets it off to Presley. Presley now winds up a shot and a save by Steffen. And the puck is cleared as Delorme is out of the box. Steffen with a big save there on Presley. Now Nyland back at his own line. Flips it deep into the Red Wing zone. Bridgman has it there. Plays it back up the boards. We're going to have a penalty here. Nyland shot tipped and a save by Steffen, and a penalty here against Detroit. Everyone looking around saying who. And I think Mel Bridgman, with a look on his face, realizes that he is the guilty party. Bridgman going off at 17:30 of the first. To the right of your screen there is where Bridgman came together with the Chicago player. And on the delayed penalty, here's Nyland's shot. That was tipped there. Steffen came up with a big save to preserve this 1-0 Red Wing lead with 2.5 remaining in the first period. Speaking of Mel Bridgman, who is in the penalty box, he'll be Mickey Redmond's guest in our first intermission, so stick around for that one. Face off to the right of Steffen. Power play again for the Hawks. 0 for 1 tonight and 0 for 11 in the series. Draw control by the Hawks. Doug Wilson along the boards for Savard. Lost it. Yzerman sweeps it down the ice. Bob Murray controlling for Chicago. Lead pass for Denny Savard. Savard across the line. Could not make the clean pass to Presley. The puck just sitting there, and now it's cleared by Burr. All the way down behind Sauve. Bob Murray now for the Hawks will start it up again. .152 remaining here in the first period. The Wings leading the series 3-0, and they lead this game 1-0 on a power play goal by Brent Ashton, who just cleared the puck up into the crowd out of play. Had nobody on him and just pulled. We look at Lee Norwood, who has come on strong since recovering from that abdominal muscle pull injury that kept him out for several weeks until the beginning of March. Minute 13 left to the Bridgman penalty. 1:43 left in the first period. Faceoff kicked by Burr and picked up by Norwood. Plays it up the boards. Ashton there. He lost it across the zone, and that came outside the line as Wayne Forsey blew the whistle before. That man has had some tremendous years, including a year just a few years back when he won the Norris Trophy. Face-off just outside the Detroit line with 1:03 left to the Bridgman penalty now, and 1.5 remaining first period. Bob Pulford with 4 forwards out there along with Doug Wilson. Denny Savard, who had a goal last night, drives it in off the boards behind Steffen. They jam up along the boards. It comes free. Now here's Secord sending it out to the point for Savard. Savard checked there by Gallant. Rolls it ahead. And Delorme gets control. Gilbert Delorme across the line. Long wrist shot. Sauve handles that one easily. Half a minute left now with the Bridgman penalty and a minute left in the first period as the Chicago fans give the sarcastic cheer with that announcement. Troy Murray streaking it along the boards. Checked there by Gallant. Gallant gets the puck loose for Yzerman. Yzerman on the second effort, able to send it all the way back down behind Sauve. So the Hawks with back-to-back power play opportunities here late in the first period. Again have a goose egg in this series with a man advantage. 0 for 12 now. Secord back to the line for Nyland. Nyland shot tipped just wide. Bridgman out of the box, but the Hawks still with the pressure on. Snaps behind the net. Now Bridgman back there. Tried to play it up the boards, and it ended up over the glass out of play with just 21 seconds now remaining in the first period. We look at especially pleasing to come back here, Devellano noted, to win that game in overtime. And despite the fact the team would have a long layoff, I think the Wings management would like to see this series end right here tonight. Into the corner, Lutzig for the Hawks has Vincelette in front. Lutzig trying to circle the net. Norwood, a good hold on him, takes him into the boards. Vincelette and Delorme fencing with the sticks a bit. Now Vincelette tried to roll it in front. Delorme got back, clears it up the glass, down the ice. This will be icing unless the siren sounds first, and it does. That is the end of the first period of play, and the Red Wings, as they have done.
And Brown, Merzen for Hartford. 4-1 now Rangers. Look at that one. Prop for the Flyers. Jackson, Sandstrom, McPhee are the only 3 goal scorers we have as we get back to action here in period number 2.
Bridgman now sending it across into the Blackhawks zone. Olchuk clears it back, taken there by O'Connell. Mike O'Connell once played for the Blackhawks. Was traded to Boston for Al Secord a few years back. Nyland now checked by Bridgman, but still controlling the puck.
Also born right here in Chicago, Mike was.
Now O'Connell hustles back to play it up the boards for Harold Sneps. Lead pass for Gallant across the line. Gerard Gallant gets by Nyland. Drops it back. Bridgman scores!
What a move. What a move by Gallant. Holy mackerel. Oh, he turned out inside out. I believe Nyland, once again, we have seen this happen in every game of this series where Detroit, a guy like Yzerman, and Gallant has done it twice. He did it to Brown in game 2. And when you see this replay, I mean, there's no body contact at all. Gallant, I think it's 22 Nyland. Look at this play now. It's Nyland comes to get him. Look at this. Got a left hand on him, and that's it. Gallant fakes the shot on the backhand, gives it to Bridgman, and he has no trouble beating Sauve to the stick side. 2-0 Red Wings. Look at this move again from a oh my goodness. Thank you very much. Equipment's on the clock, and it's 2-0 as Bridgman gets his 3rd of the series and 3rd in 2 nights here in Chicago.
He was acquired, of course, at the trade deadline for a youngster by the name of Chris Jahaki, and also a 3rd-round draft pick in the upcoming draft. But they wanted Mel Bridgman for this playoff run.
No question about it. I wasn't sure. I had a funny feeling that Gallant was going to drop that puck back. There were actually 3 wings on that rush. What a great play. That's a breakaway for Kosar.
Oh, a diving poke check by Doug Wilson prevented a breakaway.
That's a great defensive play right there.
Gilbert Delorme, a long shot. Sauve able to kick that out of there. Boy, the Hawks were really caught deep there. Now here's Kosar almost holding it in. Delorme flipping it high in the air back into the Chicago zone. That play will be whistled offside. Third of the series for Mel Bridgman at the 35-second mark.
Trying to think if it happened in game 1. Last night with Yzerman turning O'Callahan inside out. And then tonight here with Gallant and number 22, Gary Nyland. Boy, oh boy. That's incredible. Got a final out of Boston. The Canadiens will advance. It has been 20-some years since the Bruins have defeated the Canadiens in a playoff series, and that string keeps on growing.
Harold Sneps getting the assist along with Gallant on that goal. Here's Manson moving into the deep slot. Poke check, and here is a breakaway.
Got to get it up to Oates. He's
one-on-one. Lead pass for Oates. In alone. Save Sauve.
Boy, oh boy.
Barr holds it in.
Man, oh man.
Yesterday at the practice, I was watching the Wings, who were having a little game of breakaway, trying to beat the goaltender, and Adam Oates was
got it right at him that time.
By far showing the best percentage. Here's Presley with a chance. Looking for Bob Murray, who had broken his stick and had to go to the bench. Boy, well, the Hawks are caught again.
I was going to say they are very, very loose defensively right about now.
A big save for Bob Sauve. Keeps the Hawks in this one for the time being. If it goes to 3-0, could be all over. Still early in the second period. 2-0 Wings lead. Lead pass now for Dave Barr across the line. Fakes the shot. Now tries to get by Nyland. Just rolls it along the end boards. Wings going for a change.
Nyland wants to make up for that last play. Here he comes. One on the Red Wings.
Good back checking by Probert. Knocked it away. Keith Brown rolls it ahead. Savard was covered. Now Kumpel across the line. Tried to make a pass there for Lamb. Brown got in the way of it. Probert hooking Brown, forces the bad pass. Norwood able to clear the zone. Here comes Bob Probert now. Lamb pulled offside by Keith Brown. And Probert brought it into the zone.
Breakaway. Zombo poke checks Manson. Or rather Oates, and it goes to 22 Barr. Here he comes. Look at it from behind the net. Surprised that Oates didn't try to make a move on him. Maybe go to the backhand. He's a very fancy player with the fakes.
O'Callahan for the Hawks now for Wilson. Drives one in from center ice, and that's deflected up into the crowd by Steffen.
Paul Klosterman just dropped by the booth.
Face off to the left. of Steffen. It comes to Doug Wilson, a shot, save Steffen, and he covers the puck. No, he doesn't. Comes loose, the backhand. Was stopped in front. I don't think that Steffen made the second save.
I don't know who's got it either. Fraser is right in great position to make the call. No penalty shot on the play. Somehow Steffen's got a hold of it. Two Red Wings are in the crease, and it hit one of them, including Steffen.
Of course, you mentioned no penalty shot because if somebody other than the goaltender covers the puck in the crease, that is a penalty shot. Now, right here, I thought the whistle was going to be blown, but a good play by Fraser.
Steffen's down and out, and if I'm not sure who got the shot.
It may have hit Troy Murray.
Might have hit even Troy Murray, who's in there. It's a left-hand shot from the Hawks, who took the backhand. Here's a high-angle look at it. See if we can tell. Steffen with the bad save. Puck comes loose. Fraser sees it, doesn't blow the whistle. There's Olchuk. There's Murray. And the puck pops into the slot area. Is it Vincelette? I'm not sure who that is out in the slot, but he hit somebody in the crease, and the puck went to Steffen. Therefore, no penalty shot called, and it's still 2-0 Detroit.
Somebody's glove ended up in the net. O'Connell now being bothered there by Vincelette along the boards. Burr wraps it back around his own zone. Now Ashton, good move to get away from Olchuk up the center ice. That'll be a two-line pass, so Burr's not going to touch it. O'Callahan's not going to touch. No, Callahan got it to the line. That was held in by Sneps. No, it wasn't. D'Amico did see it. I was going to say it looked like it was offside, and the linesman may have been out of position, but John D'Amico was right there to make the call.
That was Vincelette, 32. I couldn't see the number that had that backhand shot. That's Steffen, the rookie.
16-12 remaining in the second period. Wings leading 2-0. First period power play goal by Brent Ashton. Second period goal by Mel Bridgman. O'Callahan for the Hawks now. Sends it ahead all the way down the ice. Steffen out of the net. Leaving it there for O'Connell. Now for big number 27, Harold Snepp. Checked from behind by Olchuk. Keeps his feet. Harold looked pretty light on his toes there.
Did he ever?
Burr across the line. Strong move. Drops it for Ashton with a shot. Save Sauvé. Good chance there and set up well by Sean Burr, whose primary role is to be a checker. And boy, has he come to the forefront offensively in this series. Now Olchuk checked by Burr. Vincelette stood up there by O'Connell with a hard check. Back comes O'Connell leading the rush. Drives it in on Sauvé. Sauvé steers it to the corner. Troy Murray lost it there to Kosar. Then Murray goes down on top of it. Play continues. Murray has it for the Hawks. Sends it across for Al Secord. Right wing pass now for Larmer. Larmer into the deep slot. Pulls the trigger. Bounces wide of Steffen. Gallant battling Secord there for the puck. Here comes Yzerman now trying to get by Denny Savard. And that play was ruled offside as Gallant and Secord hitting each other again.
Side by each over on the bench. Kosar, I'll tell you, he loves to get at people verbally. He's telling Savard now after that incident in the first period, he said, "You come around me again, I'll eat you for lunch."
Here comes Manson. He'll get into it. Side by each.
Side by each. The Bruise brothers, what a pair of characters they are.
Now Secord and Bridgman may sit it for a couple of minutes. I don't think Frazier's going to let this go for too long.
You know what I mean? They love to inflict bruises.
I got it. I'm still thinking about the side by each. We'll take a break. 15:05 to go in the second. Wings lead it 2-0.
At Michigan National, our customers have a lot to celebrate. Invest in a Michigan.
Sean Burr with a strong move up into the Chicago zone. He'll make a nice little drop pass here. Ashton. Boy, he had some room to shoot at there.
Gets belted. He's got no protection after he lines up for the shot. Troy Murray took a chunk of him. Things heat up a little bit here.
Starting to get a little chippy with the sticks. Don't like to see that.
Well, you know, Chicago's very frustrated.
Here comes Savard now. He'll try to get something going. Look at that spin move, and he couldn't get open on the far side.
This would be something.
He scored a goal in Toronto a few weeks back in a big win by Chicago, where he made that spin move, picked up the puck, and one-timed it on the other side of the defenseman and scored. They replayed it about 5 times.
I would think so.
On the evening sports. Bob Murray now for the Hawks. 5.5 gone by, second period. It's in behind Steffen. Steffen plays it up the boards to Lauren with a big hit on Rich Preston. Now Larmer for the Hawks. Preston moves it to the corner. Here's Denny Savard. Now a backhand shot and a save by Steffen. They roll it out in front. But Kumpel has that covered for the Wings. 3-on-3 now for the Wings into the zone. Kumpel drops it for DeLorme. Good move by Kumpel. Took the other Chicago player out, but the drop pass intercepted by Savard. 3 Red Wings back. Savard a drop pass. Preston a drive. Steffen the save, and he bats the rebound toward the corner. Yzerman has it there. Now here's Stapleton for the Hawks. Yzerman knocks that away. Now Steffen out of the net. Screen Stapleton off the puck. And Gallant rolls it up for Kumpel. Mark Kumpel winds up. Long shot deflects wide of Sauvé. Wings completing the change. And here comes Nyland, who was victimized by Gallant's move on the Bridgman goal early here in the second period. Lutzig is checked by Zambo. They battle along the boards. The puck comes free. Oates could not clear the zone. Steffen leaving it there for Beach. Into the corner now. Presley up the boards, battling with Klima.
Beach is KO'd by Lutzig.
Back comes Klima now on the move. Takes the shot, missed it wide. Going for that shot along the ice inside the post. And Presley now for the Hawks. Sends it across. Zambo will get there first for Detroit. Sends it ahead. Blocked by Nyland. Zambo again now. Up for Oates with Klima into the zone. Diving poke check by Lutzig. Loose puck. Nyland has it now for Chicago. Sends it across for Presley. Up the right wing. Makes the move. Now Nyland has it. Rolls it in front. And Steffen.
Penalty coming up against Detroit.
Beach dumped Presley at the side of the net. And the Hawks will have a power play opportunity. Their third of the hockey game. So we'll take a break. Wings will be shorthanded, but they leave this game. Presley, second leading goal scorer in the regular season. We haven't seen him bust in on that right side very often.
That's what I thought he was going to do right there. He had the room to go outside, but he chose not to.
So Beach is off for holding. Power play. Chicago. Wilson a shot. That hit Yzerman. Ended up near the Oregon loft and out of play. Final score from tonight, Mick. They'll have to wait until a week from Tuesday before the next round, and they'll either open up at home against Toronto or on the road against St. Louis.
They're looking for there is that series to go 7, and for those two to beat each other up.
Power play now. Secord rolls it across the Red Wing zone. Olchuk out to the point. Savard. Denny Savard back for Olchuk. Tees up for a shot. Steffen the save. He was screened by Secord. Good concentration there by Steffen. Now Troy Murray into the deep slot. Pulls the trigger. Saves Steffen. Rebound. Chipped at by DeLorme and batted away by Burr. Boy, the Hawks really trying to jam the net. Savard again now for the Hawks with the man advantage. Left wing for Secord. Knocked away by DeLorme. Wilson held it in. Olchuk taking a run now at Norwood. Troy Murray drops it back for Olchuk out to the point. Doug Wilson back for Olchuk. Olchuk battling there with Norwood. Now here's Burr with a steal, and he starts it back with Ashton.
Take all the time they want. The Hawks are going to change.
Burr, long shot, and he just missed it on the far side. Short-handed bit by Burr. He is hungry for the goals now. Here comes Savard across the line. Little dump pass to the corner. Zambo, good physical play.
That's right. Both guys, Bridgman and Zambo, took a piece of the Hawks, and they come up with a puck.
Hawks again on the move. 25 seconds left in the Beach penalty. Here comes Savard now. Dipsy doodles into the wing zone. Stood up there by Sneps, and a clear by Bridgman. Almost caught Yzerman. Sneps just slaps it back in. Now the Hawks, woes with a man advantage, continue here in this series. Just 5 seconds left of the Beach penalty. Keith Brown across the line. Dumps it in behind Steffen. To the corner it goes. Hawks have it though. Wayne Presley, he scores! He made a great move!
Did he ever? Boy. He really did. Presley had Steffen going the other way. What a super move he put on Steffen, really. Watch Steffen move when he fakes to go the other way. Steffen leaves that goalpost. Presley stops on a dime right there and deflected it in off Steffen's left pad. A little bit of a mix-up back there. Steff didn't handle the puck perfectly. See that? He's halfway behind the net. Forces Steffen to come across or begin to come across to cover the other side, and he stopped and reached out and jammed it in and banked it in off his pad. 2-1 Detroit.
So that save by Sauve on the breakaway by Oates looming much larger. Lutzig a chance, and he fired it just wide. Now the Hawks with a threat here. This is Lutzig rolling it across to the point man. Nyland a shot. That went wide of Steffen. He was screened on the play. Back it goes into the corner. Vincelette checked by Klima. Gets it out to Lutzig. Lutzig trying to wheel in front. Vincelette has it. Sends it out to the point. Nyland quickly across for Keith Brown. Brown a shot. Steffen a save.
Oh, big save there.
Oates sends it ahead for Barr. Barr across the line. Drops it to Oates moving in. Back to Barr. The shot. He scores!
Oh, boy.
Oh, what a shot by Dave Barr.
Wow. Barr banks it in off the crossbar. As the Hawks were pressing, and they got caught. In a 3-on-2, I thought the Wings had put themselves out of position, but Barr made a perfect shot, put it up over top of Sauve and off the bottom of the crossbar. Watch this, Barr drops it to Oates, and Adam can't quite get himself in a great position to shoot. Sauve goes down and leaves Barr the opening. Look at that deflector. Just on the inside of the post. And right back behind the Chicago goal, the Wings get a 2-goal lead again. Nyland down, the fake. Sauve doesn't go down here. Barr has absolutely nothing to shoot at. He was almost on the goal line area when he let it go.
That is Dave Barr's first point of this series.
It's also the third time in this series that Detroit has come back and give themselves a 2 or 3 goal lead after Chicago has just got one to get back into the game.
Here's Presley, who scored moments ago for Chicago. Beach sends it up the boards. Bridgman tips it, and it gets by Manson. Boy, you're right about that. Burr scored 2 minutes and 9 seconds after Bob Murray in the first game, as Ed Olchuk's shot is blocked way up into the crowd out of play. Hand still smarting a little bit from the altercation he had with Presley.
Tell by the shots on goal. This is a lot of shots for these two teams. 23 for Chicago, 22 for Detroit, and we've only played half the game. So it's pretty wide open here at both ends. Both goaltenders making some very big saves.
Presley now trying to get more involved offensively. He's checked there. The puck ends up out of the zone. Presley has it again. Sets up Olchuk. Rolls it up into the Red Wing zone. Troy Murray has it there. Pass intercepted by Yzerman. Ahead now for Gallant. Gerard Gallant. Long range shot deflected wide of Sauve. Troy Murray now. That's it ahead. Intercepted. Bridgman. Quick shot. Oh, he just missed the net. Wow, a turnover there by the Hawks. And back comes Olchuk. Sends it across for Presley. Presley on the off wing. Holds up. Takes the shot. Steffen the save. Olchuk. Now wheeling around on the Red Wing zone. A quick shot save. Loose puck. And the Wings come out 3-on-2. Yzerman, Bridgman, and Veach. The Hawks get back into it on the line change, but Yzerman moving in. Couldn't pull the trigger. Yzerman now dumps it in front. It hit a stick laying on the ice. And the Hawks come back down. Rink wide pass for Presley. Presley the shot. Steffen the save. Veach clears the rebound. And again now, the Wings on the move. Gallant across the line.
Cross-check O'Callaghan.
Sets it up for Yzerman. And now Savard takes over for the Hawks left wing side for Secord. Back for Savard on the give and go. Denny Savard, long shot, Steffen, the save.
They're really gunning at Steffen, aren't they?
Bird tried to clear it around the glass, and he lifted it too high. It's up in that goal. As we look at Ed Olchuk.
Steffen with that goal stick. Used the body to stop it.
Bob Murray way in there, huh? Red Wings 3, the Hawks 1, Game 4. Best of 7 North Division semifinal. Face-off control by Savard. Sends it out to O'Callaghan. He'll take the shot. Blocked wide. Now here's Savard circling the net. Tried to send it in front. It was covered by Steffen. He'll hold on to it. And the face-off will be to Steffen's left. Face-off controlled by the Hawks. Doug Wilson, rising shot. Oh! Steffen felt that one. He's going to get right back up. The crowd reacting here at Chicago Stadium in a less than sportsmanlike manner, but Steffen is on his feet. We'll take a break. 7:49 to go. In the second period, Wings lead it 3-1.
Celebrated design of the Ford-winning Ford Taurus.
Back live at the Chicago Stadium. Let's have a look at that high drive from the point that caught Steffen up on the shoulder area. Dougie Wilson, who's got a cannon back there, got him on the right side of the shoulder, I believe, but he is up and in there for good.
Norwood kicks it to Gilbert Delorme. Up the middle for Burr. 3-on-2 for the Wings into the Blackhawks zone. Here's Burr. Lead pass. Probert's in. Oh, tried to pass it instead of shooting. Probert had the good opportunity and tried to set up the easier chance.
Dougie Wilson's made 2 fine defensive plays here in this second period.
Now Burr in forechecking Wilson. I think Wilson has lost his stick. Now Probert in the corner. Lost it there to Larmer. Ahead for Savard. He has Secord with him. Savard into the zone. Savard still holding it. Moves it in wide of Steffen. Larmer sends it in front, tipped away. And Delorme drives it down the ice. Things got a bit disorganized. Gilbert says, I don't like this. To the right of Steffen now. Adam Oates, who had that breakaway opportunity, stopped by Sauvé, but came back to set up Barr's goal to make it 3-1. He's tossed out of the faceoff, and Dave Barr will take the draw against Preston. O'Connell and Lutzig fencing with each other on the rim of the circle over there. Now Dave Barr for Detroit. Preston for the Blackhawks. Face-off. Rolls to O'Connell. O'Connell lays it up the boards to the line. Keith Brown could not hold it in. Back it comes now. Oates with a shot deflected wide of Sauvé. Up the boards. Preston clears. Sneps has it for the Wings. Across for O'Connell. O'Connell ahead now for Barr. Spun around. And Lutzig comes over to pick up the loose puck for the Blackhawks. Now for Preston. Dumps it in wide of Steffen. Off the boards. Barr trying to one-hand it out of the zone, and now he gets it loose. Leaving it there for Adam Oates. Backhands it into the Blackhawk zone. Nyland has it there. Vincelette is checked, but he's able to clear the zone away from Bridgman. And O'Connell back to get it with 6:15 to go second period. Lead pass for Gallant. Ahead now for Bridgman. Back for Gallant, that play offside right at the Chicago blue line. In our sec, the Wings send the Hawks to an early summer vacation. Dave Lewis, Mickey Redmond's second intermission guest. Played a big part in that overtime goal last night, sending the puck toward the net that hit off of Burr and gave the Wings the win. Bouncing puck now, Manson controlling for Chicago. Across the line. Centering pass for Olchuk. He was well covered. Delorme lays up the glass, deflects off Presley. Yzerman ahead for Gallant. Gets it off the skate of Manson. Now Gallant gets by Manson. Here's the shot. Sauvé the save. Rebound in front. Bridgman fanned on it. Rolls it in front. Tried to actually bank it off of Sauvé, who was down. And Sauvé covers up. We'll be back with 5:34 to go second period. Detroit leading 3-1.
Working together, building.
Watch this play by Gallant again. See, he gets a defenseman that doesn't play the body, slips it between his feet and his stick, and Sauvé out 15-20 feet to knock the angle down, and boy, he's a mad scrambler at that point. Bridgman jams it right back into him.
We've talked a lot in this series about that man Sauvé, the way he stands up. He seems to be going down much more often tonight and early. I don't know whether it's just the circumstances of what's been happening, but I don't think I've seen him go down in the first 3 games total as many times as he seems to have gone down tonight, well, such as the Barr goal.
That's a circumstance, though, sometimes that you can't avoid. When you got a situation like Barr where they're 3-on-2, it's the quickest way for him to get across there is to throw those pads like he did. But in doing so, he's got to go down to the ice.
Here's Yzerman moving in, takes the shot, partially deflected by Wilson. Sauvé makes the save. Wilson flips it off the glass, out to center ice. Norwood moves it quickly for Yzerman. Dumps it into the Blackhawk zone. Now here's Nyland. Off the boards for Denny Savard. Savard now trying to get the wheels cranked up here. Carries into the Red Wing zone. Pulls up along the boards. Now sends it in front. Picked off by Gallant. Wings have that covered. Lead pass down for Bridgman. Bridgman. Rim of the circle. Rolls it in front. Sauvé steers it over the glass.
Let it get away. Savard in anger busts his own stick over the net. Break it up. See, there's 4 of them up there. And only 1 Chicago player back. By the time Bridgman goes over here, it allows a couple of Hawks right there to get back into the play and kind of take away the advantage. There it is from behind.
Now right there, I thought he'd drop it to Yzerman, but
it's the game of seconds right there where Got to make that play very quickly to catch the Hawks and keep them caught.
Now Burr out there with Ashton and Koser. This is Nyland for the Hawks. Nyland center ice, drives it in behind Steffen. Bouncing puck went over Steffen's stick, picked up by Troy Murray. He's checked by Burr. Burr just clearing the zone. Racing after it, Ashton. Brown for the Hawks gets there first. Ashton checks him. Puck comes loose. Nyland for the Hawks sends it ahead. Knocked down by Sneps. His shot blocked across the zone. And Olchuk turns it back the other way. Driving it in wide of Steffen. Steffen tosses it off there for O'Connell. O'Connell up the boards for Ashton. Didn't get it out. Keith Brown sets it up in front, and it's picked off by Sneps. Pushes it ahead for Ashton.
Snepsy up there jumping on the toes.
Ashton trying to send it toward the net. Nyland broke that up. And now Norwood back into his own zone for the Wings. Under 4 minutes remaining now, second period. Wings leading by a score of 3-1. Brown for the Hawks ahead for Presley. Presley, the only Hawk goal in this game. That pass broken up. Barr collides with Presley. Oates comes up with it, drops it back now for DeLorme. DeLorme lifting it high in the air. I don't know how he missed that big center ice scoreboard, but the play ruled offside as we look at Dave Barr. You know, they talked. Quebec leading Hartford 4-1. Goulet with a hat trick in that one. Quebec trying to tie that series at 2 apiece. Rangers, look at that, leading 5-3 at Madison Square Garden, looking to even that up before they go back to the Spectrum. That is one series where home ice advantage doesn't seem to mean a thing. Rangers win the first game right in the Spectrum 3-0. First game at Madison Square Garden, the Flyers win. Steffen plays it up the boards. Preston for the Hawks knocks it down, sends it back behind Steffen to the corner. Lutzig is there. DeLorme wraps him up. Comes loose. Preston has a man in front, but he missed Bob Murray sneaking in for the point. A race for it here. Klima has Barr heading for the net. Klima tried to roll it across. Manson broke it up, and here's Oates with it. Oates stops, tries to set up Barr for a deflection. Out to the point, DeLorme. Sends it back behind the Hawk net up the board. Oates out to the point. Norwood could not get over to hold it in. Norwood bounces it back into the Blackhawks zone. Manson has it there. Now it comes to Preston. His pass hopped over the stick of Beach. Savard going after it. Beach just took Savard off the puck. Bridgman ahead now for Klima. Off of his stick, Larmer. Now for Savard. Savard's pass broken up by Norwood. Norwood sending it up the boards. O'Callahan holding it in. Klima checks him, and that puck sent toward the net, deflects over the glass out of play. Eliminated a lot of the concern in the minds of the Red Wings and how they were going to come out of the gate in this series. And it got them rolling, and they haven't stopped since. O'Callahan drives it into the Red Wing zone. Battling for it, Bridgman. Now Yzerman has it. Yzerman and Gallant. Yzerman across the line, gets by the defense. He's in a backhand and a save by Sauvé. What a burst of speed by Yzerman. And now Savard. Good drop pass there for Secord. Secord tried to roll it in front. It was blocked. Beach could not get it through the crowd of bodies. Now it comes loose, but the whistle had blown. Minute 52 through the legs and did not lose any speed as he blew past O'Callahan. It was number 5 O'Callahan that Yzerman victimized last night on his first goal, and Sauvé had to be very sharp on that one. So they set up for the face-off deep in the Red Wing zone. With 1:52 left, second period. Again, Montreal has beaten Boston tonight 4-2 to end that series. So Montreal will have a rest awaiting the outcome of that Quebec-Hartford series. Out to center ice, Burr tried to backhand it to Ashton. Hawks break it up. Here comes Watson. Troy Murray shot. Boy, he missed the net by about 8 feet. Nyland shot. Broke his stick on it, I believe. And back come the Wings. Ashton, rink wide for Barr. Dave Barr back for Ashton. Bouncing puck over his stick, recovered by Keith Brown of the Hawks. Brown now on the move. Tips it off to Watson. Back for Brown. One time did he miss the net. Well, the Hawks continue to shoot poorly here in this series. Now Olchuk checked there by Norwood, and Burr in trouble. Just sends it down the ice. And as Nyland is back there to touch it, the icing call is made. Norwood and Calgary and Winnipeg at the end of 2. Tied at 2. Face off here in the Red Wing zone. Back to the point. Murray mishandled it. Here comes Yzerman with Gallant. Gallant catches up to it. The shot. Sauvé the save. Yzerman and Gallant, who both struggled offensively in the last 10 games of the regular season, have come to the forefront in this series. Manson for the Hawks now. Ahead for Stapleton. Less than a minute remaining now in the second period. Aaron Beach sending it back up the board. You may have heard Greg Steffen yelling reverse, reverse. Telling Beach to send it back the other way where there was an open man, Bridgman. Manson now behind his own net. Oh, look out. Almost popped it up right in his own crease. And the Hawks send it down the ice. They wave off the icing. Steffen plays it up the boards. Presley knocks it down. Send it across. Nobody was there. Now Vince Cellette wheels. And look at going down to block the shot was the captain, Yzerman. Presley now getting loose. Sends it across for Stapleton. Stapleton a shot. Steffen the save. That appeared to fool him a bit. And Gerard Gallant now pushes it ahead for Harold Snepps. And he'll skate it out of trouble. 4 seconds left in the period. Snepps just tips it ahead, and the siren sounds, ending the second period. Wings led it 1-0 after 1. They stretched it to 2-0 with an early. There is Presley with his first of the series, sporting the black eyes from his altercation in Game 2 with Dave Barr. And then the man that gave him that black eye came back and got the Wings the 2-goal lead again on a pretty setup from Adam Oates. First it's Barr to Oates. And then without much room, you'll see Dave Barr bank it in off the crossbar right there. And that made it 3-1, which is where we are right now as we're back to live action.
Identical score, offside called right there at the Detroit line. Identical score to last night going into the third period. Tied the hockey game with about 7 or 8 minutes to go, and the Wings won it in overtime. So I'm sure, again, Demers saying, okay, boys, it's 3-1. Let's not let that happen again.
Watching the Hawks come out.
Too close for comfort.
On the ice first here, Mick, for the warm-up of the third period. They, for the most part, had their heads down and did not look like they were ready to come out here jumping in the third, but we'll see.
Well, Detroit, you know, doesn't want to give them anything. They're going to get it, make them earn it.
Nyland for the Hawks plays it up the boards. Larmer ahead now for Troy Murray. Fakes the shot, goes in deep. Now holds up. Backhand pass.
Penalty coming up to Detroit.
Man dumped in front with Larmer.
Sauvé's out for the extra skater now. Delayed
Callahan.
call. Delayed call on the Red Wings.
Here's Olchuk. Moving it across to Doug Wilson. And now it's taken away by Delorme. Penalty here for holding. Power play number 4 for the Hawks in this game. Doug Wilson across for Murray. Bob Murray, his shot bouncing wide of Steffen behind the net. Presley. Checked there by Delorme. Now the puck squirts loose. Yzerman will get there ahead of Savard. Yzerman gets it to Delorme. On a second effort, clears the zone. Doug Wilson now across for Bob Murray. Back for Wilson. Now a lead pass for Savard across the line. Savard tried to center it. It deflects. Yzerman has it. And he'll just send it down the ice. Minute 25 left in the Burr penalty. Less than 2 minutes gone by here in the third period. Wings leading the series 3-0. Lead in the game 3-1. Presley drops it for Wilson. Cross ice, Bob Murray takes the shot. Deflected off of Norwood wide. Delorme has the loose puck. Skates around the net. He's got some room. And flips it all the way down into the Blackhawks zone. Bob Murray for the Hawks. Sends it ahead now. Larmer wristing it in wide. Steffen knocks it down with a stick. Beach did not clear. Nyland with a shot. Steffen the save. It went off his pad and then into his glove, it sounded like. And he's able to hang on. For that 3 out of 5 series that went to the 5th game, I think the Rangers won 2 games in Philly in that series last year, including the clincher. Now it comes back to Brown. Behind the net for Olchuk. Checked by Snep, drops it for Larmer. Beach got in the way, plays it up the boards. Nyland holds it in, slaps it toward the net. Oh, here's Olchuk, hammering away at it.
Hit Steffen in the chest as he laid down. He could not get it up. Boy. He had 2 or 3 smacks at it, and Steffen was down, couldn't really move, and it hit him in the chest. Boy, Steffen has made the big save when he's had to tonight. Watch this again. It squeaks through Harold Snepps. There's one chop at it. There's on the pads, another chop, and right there the third one. And he just banks it right off the big Red Wing in the middle of Steffen's chest.
Face off to Steffen's right. Yzerman with Troy Murray. Norwood gets it up the boards. Bridgman can't catch up to it. Sauvé out of the net.
That's got to be an interference call right there. Bridgman, he smacks Keith Brown. They're probably, are they both going to go, or just, oh, look at Nyland now gives Bridgman a shot. And now remember, Detroit's shorthanded, so they're an odd man in this situation. Keith Brown definitely should be getting an interference call. Bridgman didn't touch the puck, took him out and slammed him against the glass. Then Bridgman give him a left-handed punch. I guess they're both going to go, yeah.
Boy, Bridgman has certainly been involved.
Gilbert Delorme's got a hold of two Hawks over there. He's got Murray and Larmer tying them up. He evened things up real quick, didn't he? Look at this now. Bridgman's only going after the loose puck. That wasn't so bad, but right here, then he crunches him in and whack. Yep. Thank you very much.
Bridgman totally involved in this. Then he took a little slap on the back of the leg there.
Detroit penalty number 15, Mel Bridgman.
2:43 the time of these penalties.
Blackhawks
got his leg in, that's for sure.
Keith Brown, 2 minutes for holding at 2:43. Detroit
Roughing on Bridgman and holding on Keith Brown.
2 minutes holding at 2:43.
Still 22 seconds left in the Sean Burr penalty with 17-17 remaining in the third period. Wings 3, the Hawks 1. Dave Byer taking this face-off against Denis Savard. It comes back now to Bob Murray in the Hawk zone across for Doug Wilson. Wilson drives it in wide of Steffen. Up the boards, Gallant plays it up the glass. Bouncing puck, Presley held it in. Bob Brown and Savard upset with himself that he could not corral that pass. And Delorme drives it down the ice. That will do it for the Burr penalty. So the Hawks still 0 for the series on the power play. Here's a little poke check now by Burr, but Doug Wilson recovers, sends it ahead for Presley. Presley across the line. The shot blocked by Norwood. Now Delorme plays it up the glass. Savard knocks it down. Denis Savard in the circle, trying to create something here. Dumps it in front, blocked by Delorme. One hand on Larmer, the other hand on the stick. He clears it. Barr drives it in wide of Sauvé. Gallant now, back to the late man, Zombo. Zombo, quick shot. Sauvé just stood there, let it hit him. Gallant and Larmer still have a hold of each other. Now the Hawks able to clear. This is Presley for Chicago. Drives it in wide of Steffen, comes right off the corner boards in front. Veach clears. Presley got in the way of it. Now Veach pokes it out center ice. Nyland across for O'Callahan. O'Callahan, long shot.
That was offside. And it's still in, no? There we go.
Kumpel now, starting it up the right wing. Met by Vincelette. Kumpel gets by him with a quick wrist shot. Save made by Sauvé. Now Preston for the Hawks. Check from behind by Klima. Kumpel drops it there. Osa shot, and Sauvé steers that aside. O'Callahan now controlling for Chicago. Falls down, but makes the pass to Lutzig, and he starts it back with Vincelette. Vincelette looking for the drop pass as Lutzig ran into Veach. The stick starting to come up again. Zombo knocked it down with a glove. Clears it up the boards. Bob Murray a shot. Bounces wide of Steffen. Oates drives it up the boards. Kumpel waiting there. He has it. Sends it across for Peter Klima. Bouncing puck. Gets control. Takes the wrist shot. Blocked by Bob Murray. Now Klima gets it loose. His pass in front picked off by Preston. Preston broke his stick as the Hawks. Lutzig in front of his own bench, drives it in behind Steffen. 5 minutes gone by here in the third, and the Wings lead it 3-1. Rick Zombo seeing his first playoff action tonight. To Oates, who drives it in off of Sauvé. O'Callahan, Probert watching him, now knocks the puck away. Probert and Secord come together. Now Yzerman comes over, gets the puck loose, but right out of the stick of Doug Wilson, who sends it back for Secord. Delorme now. Play ruled offside, so with 14:34 to go in the third. Live at Chicago Stadium, Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond as the Red Wings closing in on a first round series victory. Still 14.5 to go in this one, and the Wings with only a 2-goal lead. But they seem to be more in command than that lead would indicate, but how quickly the game can turn around, and we've seen it. Doug Wilson up the middle, Troy Murray deflects it across the Detroit line. Norwood Got it back to center ice. Now Gallant, Olchuk touched that puck, so it's offside right at the Detroit blue line. Gerard Gallant.
I'm looking. Gone back to civvies. They're allowed to dress 20 players, 18 and 2 goaltenders.
I do not see a number 8 over there.
Unless he's
there he is.
hiding somewhere
Yeah,
over there.
we got a shot of him. Yep. He is there.
Where's he hiding?
Delorme now hooked by Savard. Gets the puck off to Sean Burr. Now to Joe Kocur on the right wing. Sends it across. Presley slapped at it. Kocur knocks it down and just clears the zone. Nyland, a little trouble handling the puck, but he gets it back now under control across the line. Long shot. Steffen just got the end of the stick on it and directs it up into the seats out of play. About that statistic, and I don't know how meaningful it is because he has kept the Wings in a lot of road games that they just haven't been able to pull off. But indeed, Hanlon, who had 9 of the 14 road wins,
I think it's meaningless.
all right.
Again, you know, your team goes on the road, and pretty well all teams in the league, outside of a very few, the Oilers, maybe the Flyers, have not got winning records on the road. So those statistics, you know, sort of don't tell the story.
Kumpel battling with Manson. The puck comes loose back inside the Chicago line. Bob Murray clearing the zone for Larmer. Larmer now trying to get control. Plays it ahead. Bob Murray tossing it for Stapleton. Picked off by Ashton. Ashton drives it in wide of Sauve. Here comes Kumpel with a shot on a save by Sauve.
Look at Manson. Oh, he just tears Kumpel down, and now Kumpel decides to get up and try to get him. Manson crunches him in.
The crowd here was just beginning to serenade Bob Pulford.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Kumpel not appreciating the way Manson manhandled him as we take a look at it here.
Manson just off with the gloves and just hauls him right to the ice. At least he didn't go after him. That's to his credit on that one. But then Kumpel decided to try to rip his feet out from underneath him. So I imagine.
For roughing.
Well, you talk about the fans getting on Pulford. Certainly Detroit has seen enough of that kind of stuff with the years that this hockey club has had in the past.
10 penalties against each club. 28 minutes total to the Wings. 28 minutes and 51 seconds to the Hawks. That total an odd number because the Wings have a power play goal in there that cut short one of those Hawk penalties. And this will be power play number 4 on the night for the Wings. They are 1 for 3. That first goal scored by the man at the bottom of your screen, number 14 Ashton, was a power play goal back at 13:37 of the first period. So the Wings looking to all but put it away here with a man advantage. 13:09 to go in the third period. Keith Brown drives it down the ice. Steffen off the end boards. Plays it ahead. Lutzig knocks it down. Just kicks it back behind the Detroit net. Taken there by Veach. Veach and O'Connell playing the points. Yzerman, Ashton, Gallant up front.
It's again a situation where they don't want to gamble too much. Just take what Chicago will give you, what creates.
Bouncing puck off of Nyland.
Don't give up a shorthanded goal.
Brown will not clear. Held in by Veach. Back it goes behind Sauve. Gallant is there. Now it deflects off of Nyland's skate. Backhanded to the line. Held in by O'Connell. Takes the shot. Saved by Sauve as he went down. Lutzig now for the Hawks. Looks to clear it. Got it outside the line. O'Connell, though, knocks it down immediately for Veach. Rink wide it goes to Yzerman into the zone. Brown checks him and then kicks it out of the zone. Yzerman sweeps it back to O'Connell now for Veach. Veach will drive it in behind Sauve up the boards. Yzerman deflects it to Ashton. Ashton has it there along the boards. Moves it in deep now for Yzerman out front. Gallant fanned on it. Ashton had it, then lost it. Now Troy Murray fans on it.
Nobody can find it. Who's going to get it? The Hawks. Nobody can find it. It's in the feet. Finally, Troy Murray comes up with it and ices it down behind Steffen.
Norwood for the Wings. Driving it back behind his own net for Veach. Aaron Veach ahead now for Norwood. Lee Norwood sends it ahead. Klima racing after it. Bob Murray. Klima poked it away from him. Now the puck comes loose up the boards. Veach slapped at by Olchuk. Olchuk getting loose. Klima hustling back though.
What a hustle right there.
Doug Wilson
Ooh,
across the
boy.
line.
Yep. The high stick by Oates and a little bit of a hook, a little bit of a dive, and put it all together. And Oates is going to go.
.13 seconds left in the Manson penalty, so the Hawks will get a power play out of this. 11:22 to go in the third period, and the Wings continue to lead this one 3-1.
The celebrated design of the Ford Taurus surrounds the driver with...
Getting checked by Klima. He drops it for 24. Wilson, watch that stick right up under the chin. And that was the call. So in 13 seconds, Chicago will have the extra man. 11:22 to go in regulation time here, third period.
Face off to the right of Steffen, and Savard steps in against Burr. They've got Wilson out of the line. That's where Savard will be going with it. It ends up out there, one time by Wilson. The save made by Steffen. Norwood drives it out to center
Onside.
ice. Bridgman has it.
I thought his feet were onside.
Boy, that was close.
Sure was. I've got a lot of experience, playoff experience on this Detroit team. The pregame notes. You take a look at it. Bridgman leading with 89 games. Those, of course, Philadelphia and Calgary. Then Davey Lewis with 80. Demers called a timeout, I believe.
Well, no, there's a problem with the penalty
Clock.
time up there.
Yeah.
Only 3 seconds has come off the Oates penalty, which was called at 8:38.
Okay, I'll get that straightened away. Ricky Seating got 58 games. O'Connell with 53. Billy Carroll, who's out for the rest of the year, unfortunately had 71 playoff games. Ashton's 43. Higgins 39. Some with the Hawks right here. Norwood 25. A lot with St. Louis. Snaps 49 playoff games. Davy Barr 31. So it's about split, half and half on this hockey club. You guys like Gallant, Koser, Kumpel, Burr, Chason, Klima, Lamb, Oates, Probert, Yzerman, of course, just with a couple of years and not very good memories at that. The sweep of the Hawks 2 years ago.
All right, they've straightened away the clock, Mick. It was the entire system, not just the penalty time, but the game clock had stopped there. And in case anybody at home is thinking maybe that the off-ice officials are acting as homers in the playoffs, they import off-ice officials from other cities. It is the St. Louis crew that is working here tonight. Not that the Chicago guys would do it, but fans may think that, as that puck ends up in the Chicago bench just as the...
Fair catch. A couple of characters they are. Attracted a lot of media attention. Two of them trading ideas and information. A lot of the Tigers big hockey fans. Darrell Evans for one, and Jack Morris I know have watched a lot of games this winter. They were pretty upset that they had to play last night and they couldn't get over here for Game 3.
Well, I understand they saw some of the action over there at Comiskey Park during the rain delay.
They had a rain delay and they put our telecast up on the big screen in center field.
Larmer now, Hawks with a man advantage. Out to the point it goes to Bob Murray, now to Doug Wilson. Wilson will take the shot to flex off at Delorme. Bridgman plays it to the corner, up the glass, bouncing puck out to center ice. Approaching the halfway mark of the third period, Wings leading by a score of 3-1. Savard across the line. Sets it up. Murray kind of half banned on a one-timer and then took another swipe towards Steffen as the buzzer, or rather as the whistle blew. Minute 7 left in the Oates penalty. Power play number 5 on the night for the Blackhawks.
The Stastnys. And when it starts to click, they're a dangerous hockey club.
Face-off goes to Delorme in the corner. Now Delorme lost it. Here is Larmer as the Hawks spread it out again. It goes now to Presley. Back for Savard. Savard in front. A chance. Oh, what a save by Steffen off of Bob Murray, who just one-timed it.
The Hawks set it up beautifully. Presley back behind the net to Savard, and he just flipped it over Norwood's stick, and in came Bobby Murray from the point as he drove for the net. Watch this.
Didn't get good, real good wood on it.
Ashton turned his back. It wasn't Norwood, I'm sorry. And Steffen got the trapper on it. It was headed for the far side. It was going in. Have a look at it from behind the net. Look at that. No question about that one. Norwood smacks it and it goes up over the glass. But Steffen very, very alert. Boy, you know, we talked before the series started that every team and every coach and general manager looks for great goaltending. And Detroit is certainly, I would say, nothing short of great goaltending from both Steffen and Hanlon. They have made the big stops when they had to make them.
Face off to the left of Steffen. Controlled again by Berg. Delorme did not get it around the zone.
Penalty coming up. Yep.
Oh, and maybe there'll be another one here. To Murray? I doubt it.
No.
Okay.
Sean
Berg
Berg
stops
touches
that.
it. Oh, 43 seconds too. Still left on the clock, and Norwood took a pretty vicious swipe at the Hawk player, and Kerry Fraser was standing right there, and that's going to be a two-man disadvantage. This could be the whole series in a nutshell right here for the Hawks. Watch Norwood take a swat. No, that's after right there where he's dumped.
That's where I thought Bob Murray might get a penalty.
42 seconds left in the Adam Oates penalty. And now Norwood, so a 5-on-3.
Not much question about the Norwood slash, but then Bob Murray took Norwood down.
And Demers will go with the veterans. Delorme, Sneps, and Mel Bridgman to form the triangle and try to keep the Hawks away from Greg Steffen.
Well, the face-off very big here.
Look at the power that they're sending out there. Secord, Savard, Larmer, Dougie Wilson, and Bob Murray. 5 gunners.
Two-man advantage for the Hawks for 42 seconds. Bob Murray nearly lost the puck.
Did.
And,
Hit the linesman.
Hit the linesman.
Still going to get cleared.
Sneps will dump it down the ice.
Those are breaks of the game right there, but Sneps dumps it out. And here comes the big fella Savard.
He's in a hurry because the Hawks have a two-man advantage and they trail by a pair of goals. Savard at the top of the circle. Savard holding the puck, sends it across. Here's the shot. Steffen may have got a piece of that.
That's going to go outside too. I don't think it hit anybody. And Larmer tried to go top shelf up over Steffen, and I think it just deflected off the glass out of the playing surface, and that'll bring the face-off outside the blue line.
I think the linesman D'Amico was saying.
Look at Sneps. He's really upset. He hears they're going to leave it inside. He's saying, "Hey, we didn't touch it."
He's saying that the puck hit Steffen, I believe.
If it doesn't hit the goaltender or another player, it automatically comes outside. And I didn't see it hit anybody. I thought he just blew it right over top of the net. But they don't win the conversation. Sneps can't believe it.
That is a big, big call because there are 14 seconds left in the Oates penalty.
That's exactly right. Steffen saying to Fraser, just for future reference, that I didn't touch it. That's the honest to goodness truth.
Some debris being picked up by the linesman Wayne Forsey. So 14 seconds left in the Oates penalty. A minute 32 left in the Norwood penalty. Two-man advantage for the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Wings with a 3-1 lead. 9:36 to go in the third period. Bridgman, Sneps, and Delorme out there. For Detroit, Savard, Secord, Larmer up front with Wilson and Murray at the points. Bridgman won the draw. Delorme will try to tie it up. Now the puck comes loose. Savard has it. Out to the point for Doug Wilson. To Savard. Back for Wilson. He shoots. Oh, and saved by Steffen.
Yes.
Oates is out of the box.
Look at Steffen chopping on 28. Larmer, they're jamming the front.
Pass across, and Savard couldn't handle it. It is cleared by Bridgman. And a one-man advantage.
It's offside.
And that play offside.
Good call by D'Amico. Larmer was caught inside in front of the Wings bench. Steffen made another very, very big save. See it. He knows it's in the right direction. He could see it as if the shot started out. And he had it lined up with his pads, and Larmer interfered with him.
Very close to interference here, we'll see.
That's another play right there that got broken up, and Sneps and Bridgman clear.
Face off, center ice. Minute 8 left in the.
A lot of guys,
he makes guys pay, as you
A lot of guys think twice before they go stand around in front of the net, because Sneps will give you the lumber. Not that some of our other guys don't, but of course Sneps with that reputation for years as being one of the tougher guys in the league, and a guy who will not give you any quarter in front of the net.
Here comes Savard now, full head of steam, drives one in behind Steffen, up the board. Oh, took a crazy hop off the boards, and Delorme got it to the line. Savard holds it in, but Wilson does not. Race for the puck here, and Wilson, again, a good defensive play. Prevented the Wings from breaking the other way. 40 seconds left in the Norwood penalty. Troy Murray drops it for Savard, now in for Presley. Presley sends it across, picked up by Ashton.
Got a break.
Ashton coming in on Sauvé with a shot. Oh, and a save by Sauvé. Got a piece of it. Delorme drives it back into the Chicago zone.
That would have clinched it right there. Ashton missed the net.
20 seconds left now. in the Norwood penalty. Presley for the Hawks. Moves it in for Troy Murray. Murray along the boards for Presley. And that's stolen by Burr.
Two. Bridgman's with him.
Burr from Bridgman. He's in. Saved by Sauve. Loose puck and Presley has it. Couple of saves by Sauve. Out of the boxes, Norwood. Norwood checking Presley. A shot by Stapleton into the glove of Stephanie. Hangs on. I don't know whether that was going wide or not, but Stephen certainly didn't want to find out.
That's a good shot right there by little Stapleton. Stephen didn't expect him to shoot it. He caught him by surprise, and Steph was had the weight on the right foot and had to get over to the left side to stab that one. I think that was just inside the post. A couple of giveaways by the Hawks have the fans grumbling again. First by Ashton. He misses the net completely. And then by Burr a moment ago as he fed Mel Bridgman, and Sauve made a big save right here. But the Hawks have a chance to climb back into this one. That would give them the opportunity, because if they go 4-1 here, turn out the lights.
Here's Stapleton's shot into the glove of Stephen. A lot of the fans have decided to turn out the lights as they head for the exits following the unsuccessful power play again of the Blackhawks. Some debris there on the ice. Somebody could trip on one of those crushed paper cups. Not a good idea. Now right in front of the Detroit bench, Keith Brown picks it up for Vincelette. Dumps it in wide of Stephen. Norwood is there.
This is the chant.
Nyland pinching in, steals the puck, tries to roll it in front, deflected back the other way, and Beach has it. Darren Beach waits, got it outside the line. Bouncing puck taken by Preston. Rich Preston for the Hawks, taken down by Yzerman, picked up by Keith Brown now, drives it in. Stephen blocks it there. Darren Beach plays it ahead, and it's batted out of the zone. Recovered by Brown now. We come up on 7 minutes remaining now in the third period and possibly in the series. The Detroit fans up in the end zone to our left starting to chant, "Let's go Wings."
The Hawks fans are into goodbye Pulford.
Secord.
Offside.
Stolen by Kumpel and brought in offside. 6:45 remaining. The Wings 3 and the Hawks 1 with Mickey Redmond. And the rest of our Pro-Am Sports crew here as we see the time remaining in the third period. And that may be all the time remaining in the season for the Chicago Blackhawks, as the Red Wings leading this series 3-0, leading this game 3-1. Oates drives it in behind Sauve. Manson has it there for the Hawks. Now it goes to Bob Murray. Murray sends it across. Secord, drop pass behind Lutzig. Klima could not clear. Now he does. Checked by Manson. Center ice, this is Adam Oates. One man back Murray. Oates winds up the drive and the save. Rebound, slapped at by Kumpel, and Sauve the save there. And Lutzig for the Hawks starts it back. Larmer now. Too far for Secord. O'Connell will get there first. Played it to the corner, dumped by Lutzig. Secord pass for Wilson, tipped away by Oates. Now O'Callahan a shot, Stephen the save. Bouncing puck. Still loose. Finally, Kumpel has it, sends it ahead for Klima. One man back is Wilson. Here's Klima. Makes the move and then couldn't pick the puck up. Then Wilson with a high stick on
Penalty.
Klima.
He's going to get a penalty too. Burr KOs O'Callahan. Penalty against the Wings. Sauve off for the extra attacker, and Norwood will touch it. Klima with a slash as Wilson took him out of the play. Peter got caught retaliating.
He saw Wilson put the high stick up in Klima's face. See if we get a look at it here. Now watch. This is after Klima fails to pick it up right there. Got the stick up in Klima's face and the retaliation.
Well, if things remain as they are, we're going to try to go down to the Wing dressing room and catch some of the festivities at the end of this, if they do indeed knock the Hawks off here 4-0.
This is the third consecutive power play for the Hawks in this period, including About 42 seconds that they had a two-man advantage. Face off to the left of Steffen. Savard wins it back to Wilson. Off the boards now for Larmer. Back to Wilson. Takes the shot. Tipped. Steffen the save and the loose puck. Picked up now by Norwood, and he backhands it down the ice. Wow, has Steffen come up with some big saves.
Sure has.
Back for Doug Wilson. Ahead now for Larmer. Steve Larmer into the zone. Tried to send it across Bob Murray. Had to wait for it. Now Savard. Off for press.
Yeah, look at this.
My.
I'll tell you right now. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Savard just tried to take Norwood's head off.
Now, if that isn't more than 2 minutes, I don't know what is. You don't have to make contact for intent to injure.
See, again, this is the second time tonight that Savard has taken a bad penalty. His team is down 3-1. 5 minutes to go. You're on a power play. And because Norwood just took a run at him, he tries to decapitate him with the stick. There is a time and place where you have to protect yourself, but Denny Savard not thinking of the hockey club when he pulled this up.
Here's Norwood.
Norwood right there.
Got the stick up a little bit.
He did. He got him on the arm, and as Savard lifted his arm up, the stick ended up right around the head, but I don't think he caught him with it. Look at this save by Steffen a moment ago. Wilson with the drive.
Oh,
the deflection right there. Yeah, caught him in the right elbow.
Norwood has gone to the box.
It's hard to believe.
Oh, Savard's got to get more, I would think.
We got a fight going.
Number 23, Norwood, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Blackhawk penalty, number 18, Dennis Savard, 2 minutes for slashing.
Oh my, Kerry Frazier.
What did he call? Coincidental minors?
Called 2 apiece.
Wow.
Detroit penalty, Norwood.
I mean, that was a very dangerous swing of the stick by Norwood, and if that's not intent to injure.
56.
I mean, if that catches Norwood.
It hurts.
So you never know. Why we don't like to guess, even though we're looking right at it too on what the call might be. So it remains a Chicago power play. 1:29 still remaining on the Peter Klima penalty. Norwood and Savard having words down in the penalty box. Yeah, Kerry Frazier does have a new hairdo.
Oh yeah, I hardly recognized him. For real. Look at that.
There he
What do
is.
they call that?
Don't ask me. I know it's different than what it was. Harold Snep's just looking to get a whistle for a face-off, and he'll get it here.
It's a Hollywood hairdo, that one.
Face-off to the left of Steffen. More debris coming out on the ice.
This stadium is on up and down both intermissions.
Wings clear the zone as the time in the Klima penalty ticks down to 1:15. 4:50 left in the third. It's a 3-1 Detroit lead. The Hawks with their 7th power play of the night, 17th of the series. Burr knocks it away. Bridgman.
They're still over, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Boy. 0 for 17. Of course, that's not the only problem we've had in this series.
Lead
Just
pass
one of
for
many.
Doug Wilson. Now Watson sets up Olchuk. Couldn't handle it cleanly. It bounces wide of Steffen into the corner. Now back up the zone. This is Troy Murray. Feeds it to the point for Brown. Off the boards, Doug Wilson. In deep it goes now for Olchuk. Poked away by Sneps. And the puck outside the line. Cleared by Yzerman and Sneps. Sneps with a little punch in the face of Doug Wilson. Olchuk sends it back into his own zone. Hawks very close to too many men on the ice there. Now back to get it Nyland. 25 seconds left in the Klima penalty. Now Nyland rolling it across for Keith Brown. Brown ahead for Stapleton. Stapleton into the zone. And his stick lifted up. Gets it to Larmer. Back to Nyland. Nyland moving in. A shot did not get through. DeLorme blocked it. Up the boards now. Yzerman sweeps it ahead to the line. And it did not get out. Now O'Connell gets it to Burr, and he sends it back into the Chicago zone. Klima's out of the box. 3.5 remaining in the third period. Nyland for Chicago. Sends it ahead for Al Secord. Secord driving it in wide of Steffen. Larmer spun around. A shot and a save, and Secord skated past the rebound, and it's sent down the ice. That was a close call. Sauvé sends it ahead for Larmer. Larmer for Secord off his stick. Beach sends it back. The wings on a break. Here comes Gallant in for the shot. He missed the net. And off the board, Stapleton has it. He's broken up by Ashton Larmer. Drops it back into the Red Wing zone. O'Connell sweeps it around for Bridgman. Bridgman able to clear the zone. Back to get it, Lutzik. Icing is the call here. The face-off into the Detroit zone as more debris comes down on the Blackhawk chance moments ago. There's Secourt just skating past the rebound as the Wings cleared. We hope to get Jim Demolano, perhaps Wings owner Mike Ilitch. Here's Gallant going for the short side and just missing. Of course, Mickey will look to get some of the players as well. Been a long time coming for the Wings. Sean Burr tried to flip one of those crushed cups into the net and made a save. Kicked it aside, said, I don't want anything in here. He might be superstitious about that. There's a look on some faces that does not need description. Face off to the right of Steffen with 2:50 remaining here in the third period. Face off. Yzerman wins it cleanly. Norwood has it. Norwood spins away from Preston, sends it back up the boards the other way. Delorme tips it. And they don't get it out. Savard now tripped up, and Yzerman sends it back center ice. Vincelette drives it back into the Red Wing zone. Steffen stops it there. Norwood sends it ahead. Barr checked by Nyland. Now Yzerman got it to the line. Vincelette held it in, but Yzerman slaps it out center ice. Savard has it there. Now for Nyland. Vincelette rolls it ahead. Preston trying to get something going. Delorme takes him off the puck. Here's Yzerman with some room to skate. Just flips it out center ice. Bouncing down towards Sauvé. And Nyland flips it ahead. Does not connect with that pass. 2 minutes remaining in the hockey game. And it appears in this series the Wings will advance to the second round to meet the winner of the Blues-Toronto series, which is tied at 2. But right here we have an icing with 1:48 to go. The Wings lead it 3-1.
Uncle Novotny, you were right. This truly is great country. Today, I buy first thing.
What?
This Little Caesar's pizza. I ask man for one, he gives me two. I say, I'm sorry, but have money only for one. He tells me, here, when you buy one, you get second one free.
Free?
Some country, eh? Tomorrow, I buy car.
Little Caesars, when you make pizza this good, one just isn't enough.
Well, again, there they are, having a good time up there in the end zone sections. They were there last night. Look at the press box up over their head. The face-off to the right of Steffen, who has about 9 or 10 crushed beverage cups in the net that have been swept in there. 1:48 to go here. Draw control by the Wings. Now Sneps poached it away from Troy Murray. Up the boards, Bridgman. Got it to the line, but not out. Bob Murray held it in. Empty net down to our right now. The Hawks with the extra attacker. Pulling out all stops. Here's Harold Sneps sliding it out center ice. The Hawks with 6 attackers. And the empty net, Wilson sends it ahead for Larmer. It's a 2-goal difference, but the Hawks, trailing 3 games to none, have to go for broke. Harold Sneps knocks the puck down and sent it over the glass out of play. And the face-off will be to the left of Greg Steffen with 1:19 now to go. There's the empty net. Probably several things running through his mind right now. John Burr to take this face-off against Troy Murray. The Hawks will be trying to get it back to the points and jamming the front of the net. Burr and Bridgman out there along with Barr, Delorme, and Norwood. Face-off controlled by Burr. But the Hawks with the extra man come up with the puck. Goes along the inboard, Secourt. Checked by Norwood. Olchuk digs it free. Couldn't center it. Norwood, it popped in front. Delorme gets it to Barr. Barr will just send it down. Lanier boards. Bridgman gets there. No icing. Less than a minute remaining now. Lammer for the Hawks. They have the extra attacker, but they trail by a pair. Here comes Troy Murray, and he fires it just wide. Out to the point. Nyland wristing it toward the net. Stop. A rebound, and Steffen a save on Eddie Olchuk. Now Bridgman muscling Keith Brown. Norwood sends it up the boards. It deflects to Nyland, poked away by Barr. And Nyland back to get it. 35 seconds remaining in the season for the Hawks as the Red Wings are going to win this series in 4 straight. Here's Savard sending it toward the net. A tip and a save on Presley. As they storm the front of the net, the red shirts outnumber the white. As the Wings trying to set up a barricade in front of Greg Steffen as they continue to shower the ice here at Chicago Stadium. Gilbert Delorme going over for another stick. Well, we just hope now at this point we can finish the rest of this game without any further incidents or anyone getting hurt because of the debris on the ice. The frustration of the Blackhawk fans. Another amazing statistic. When Bob Tolford has coached all 80 games, now there's been times when he's stepped out as general manager to replace a coach in midseason. When he has coached all 80 games, including this loss here tonight, the Hawks are 0-15 in the playoffs. When he has coached the entire season, the Hawks have not won a playoff game. That is frustration. The face-off to the left of Steffen. The debris continues to come down. They decide to go ahead and drop the puck and try to get this one ended. Empty net to our right still. 3-1 Wings lead. So it appears to be all academic now as Bridgman steps in for the draw, wins it from Murray. It ends up in the corner to the side of the net. Delorme sends it up the boards. Nyland holds it in, sends it back for Savard. Tried to poke it in front. Bridgman able to clear the zone. Back to get it, Keith Brown. The Red Wing bench up. They're all standing. They'll be celebrating downstairs in a moment. Mickey Redmond will be there to cover it all. And this series is over. A 4-game sweep by the Detroit Red Wings. Very quietly, Jacques Demers shaking hands with his coaching staff and his trainer.